So I'm having a chill day today, but got a few things to run out to the compost. So I figured I'd do a quick video on what we do for composting at least. I'm not going to do a big video on the different methods of composting and everything like that, like a lot of channels do out there. I'm going to do what we do and what works for us. So we use a few different methods. One of them being Bokashi. God, that's heavy. So Bokashi's a way of fermenting your food before you put it into the actual compost using a Bokashi grain, which is generally just a wheat grain or something that's been inoculated with beneficial bacteria, microbes, like your lactic acid microbe and yeasts and a few others. And basically, you fill your bins with your food scraps, anything like that, no bones. You can do dairy. I don't know, there's a bit of a conflicting opinion over the dairy one. But try and keep liquids to a minimum and then compact it each time you do it. So you do food, Bokashi grain, food, Bokashi grain, and compact it, make it anaerobic, which kind of goes against the whole composting outside, which needs to be aerobic. But much like any other fermenting process with preserving your foods, that's all anaerobic as well, because you airtight sealed jars and stuff, similar thing. And then the microbes start breaking down more fermenting your food. Byproduct of it is Bokashi tea, which is inoculated with all those microbes as well as the nutrients from the foods and a few other bits and pieces. It's extremely acidic, so you generally water it down and you can use it to fertilize your plants, treat your soils, or use it as a compost accelerator in your actual compost bins outside, which is generally what I use it for. I use it for my dog food compost, help that keep turning over, and then I'll put the rest into my other composts. But you want it, if you do use it on your plants, even in your dog compost, you want to water it down 100 to 1. So it is quite acidic. You can even use it to clear your drains to being fully concentrated, undiluted. Put me off, V. What's the matter? Oh, you spilled it. That's all right. Go back on the couch. No. No? Okay. Not couch. You can use the undiluted Bokashi tea to clear your drains. It's that acidic. So me and Carla, we have 2 bins going. One under the kitchen sink that we put all our scraps into at the time, and then we put that into the laundry once it's full, and the laundry one then goes out to the compost outside, giving the one in the laundry, like the rotation, giving it a little bit more time to ferment and help the food break down. And once it's out in the compost, it only takes, thank you, bud. It only takes a week, maybe 2, and a lot of the food you've just tipped in there is gone. Another one we do, not necessarily a composting method or type of composting, but eggshells. Have you ever found if you put your eggshells outside in the compost that they don't break down? They go soft, but they never really break down because they're made up the same things as your fingernails and all that, the keratin. And fingernails don't break down either. So what we do is we collect them, and then once a week or 2 weeks, we then put it into the oven. Turn the oven to 100 degrees. Once it's up to temp, let the eggshells heat up and sit in there for about 10 minutes. This sterilizes the eggs and gets rid of any bad bacteria or pathogens that have accumulated in the shells. Bad eggs, not that good. And then we put it into the blender and blend it into a fine dust. From there, I then put it into my compost so it can break down further. It then inoculates the compost with calcium carbonate, which is really good for your plants. Calcium helps the plants strengthen their cells, and it's really good for your tomato plants and all capsicums and stuff to eliminate your blossom end rot as well. The other methods I've used, I've touched base on in other videos. I've got the dog poo one and my 3-bin one in the garden. Both aerobic composts, so you add your nitrogens and your carbons. Dog poo, obviously, in the dog poo one. And you've got to constantly aerate it to keep the microbes in there happy, and a little bit of moisture, but not too much. You don't want it dry, but you don't want it sodden. The second it becomes sodden, those good microbes start to die off. It starts to become anaerobic, and all the bad microbes start to take over, bacteria and pathogens, and it ruins your compost. So before I tip the bokashi in, I generally dig a bit of a hole so I can put that in and then bury it, just because of the smell. I don't want my dogs trying to get in here and then attracting rats and everything else that will come with it as well. So generally try to bury it in the center, leave it for a few days and turn it. It's generally pretty good after that. I also have a wood chip bin, basically a similar sort of thing. I put it in there with the leaves. Some people don't put it in there, they just put straight wood chips. What are you doing? How'd you get in there? So with the leaves and the wood chip in there, you've got your nitrogens and your carbons in there. And I sort of just leave it. A little bit of water to help beneficial bacteria. But for the most part, I leave it so that fungi can take over. And when I go to make up the garden beds, I'll then put those wood chips at the base, compost on top as well as soil. And you start to create this community with this symbiotic relationship between fungi and the microbes. What are you doing? No, you can't go out. Why? Out this way. You know how to get out. Why do you keep going back in there? Mister? Yeah. Silly. Yeah, you're silly. I forgot where I was up to. So, but yeah, once I put it all into the garden bed, it's going to create this symbiotic relationship between the fungi and the microbes, and it's super beneficial between the plants and the roots and everything. So basically that's what we use. We've got the bokashi bin, we blend up our eggshells, I've got the dog poo compost, that doesn't go into veggie gardens, just in case, that goes into flower beds. And then I've got my big compost bins as well. I hope this is helpful. It's just what we do. So I'll see you on the next one.